Hello and welcome to A Moment's Portal, a podcast where members of the Global Innovation Gathering share stories on global innovation. I'm Daniela Marzavan.
And I'm Ngei, and together we'll be hosting this 6th episode, taking you with us to a moment in the work and life of Tarek Omar.
Today I brought Tarek from the beautiful city of Cairo, founder of the Cairo hackerspace, and I will let him continue introducing his amazing career.
Okay. My name is Tarek. I am one of the co-founders of Cairo Hackerspace. We started, I think, in 2009. Since then, we have been hacking, making workshops, making courses, trying to make a difference in Egypt, helping other people start hackerspaces and fab labs. We did also a mobile makerspace. We did a road trip across all over Egypt in like 29 cities to influence people and help them understand what is a hackerspace and how it could be good to them or a makerspace, and they can build one.
Where did that road trip start and where did it end?
So that was in 2016, the end of 2016, like around December or something. In fact, I was supposed to be with the gig for the Maker Fair in Nepal. Sadly, I had to cancel that because that was the time we had to do the road trip.
So which city did it start and which city did it end? 26.
So we started in Cairo,
yes.
And then we took the eastern part of the Delta, and then we went through the Suez Canal.
Yes.
We didn't really go into Sinai because it wasn't open during that time. Cars couldn't get in. And then we went down to Upper Egypt. We went through, with the Nile, actually, all the cities till Luxor, which is very close to the Sudanese borders. And then we went back up and we went to the Western Desert.
Yeah.
We went to a city called Bawiti, and this is where the Bedouins live. It's an oasis. It's a very beautiful place. We did some workshops there. And then after that, we took the other side of the Delta and we went up to Alexandria.
Brilliant. You already took us to a story.
Yeah. It was amazing seeing a lot of people. So most of the places that hosted us were universities.
Yeah.
There was Fab Lab. So Fab Lab Egypt, they did actually had branches, and I didn't know that. So in many cities, we visited those. It was very interesting to see the projects. Some people were working on that. In Cairo, we didn't know about that. Like, we met people in Aswan or Asyut or something. It was surprising. They were building a 3D printer that, with stem cells, they print tissues that grow. That was a research graduation project. They were excited to see the 3D printers we have because they had more knowledge about stem cells than 3D printers. It was very interesting also to see. I didn't know that there is other people do stem cell research in Egypt and also undergrad.
Amazing. So that was already the story where it was obvious to you that innovation can be made in Egypt. Namely in rural Egypt.
Yes.
So let's start with the Moment's Portal. Tarek, could you please take us to a moment where you truly felt carried by the Global Innovation Gathering?
It's a very wide moment, okay? So it was the first time I met Gig. I got introduced to the gig by Bilal. He was an old friend. He visited Egypt multiple times. First time was doing Maker Fair Africa. And then at some point, we were like doing our thing, like everything was working. I wanted to connect more, learn from other people. I didn't even know about existence of networks, Bilal, exactly. I was like, well, I don't know how, I see people do things online. I was like, I didn't know how to reach out or be part of something like that. And then Bilal, one day he was like, oh, by the way, do you know about the gig? I was like, I don't know, what is that? I was like, Global Innovation Gathering. I was like, that sounds interesting, but I don't know. And he was like, listen, you have to join us for the next one. And I think it was like in a couple of months or something. I was excited. I was like, wow, that sounds cool. He described for me what is the gig. I didn't really imagine it. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to meet new people. Okay. I was actually, I think I had a Zoom meeting with Max, I think. Yeah, so he sort of interviewed me. So he wanted to hear about Cairo Hackerspace and things like that. And he was like, yeah, cool. Yeah, we would love to have you. And it was amazing. I thought that it's going to be just meet people. Okay. But then it was very interesting that I discovered how much I was missing from knowledge and learning from other people and other culture from everywhere. I was surprised. And this was in 2015. During that time, there was 100 people or something. There was so many people during that year talking with everyone about what everyone was doing. I was sharing the things I did that was mistakes and the good things, and other people were sharing the gig meetup that happened after Republic. Like I wanted to attend all the workshops we did. I went back to Egypt. We did actually apply so many things. We even learned how to do the road trip from the experience we learned it from all the people we met at the gig. In fact, the road trip project we did is called Maker Express. We expanded, so we couldn't travel. It's not easy for Africans to travel across Africa, so we couldn't take the bus or the camper van we had. But we did actually use the idea of Maker Express and mobility, and we did the partnership with Hackerspace in Zimbabwe. We went also to Ghana.
So you taught them how to do Maker Express themselves and how to travel through their own city?
No. So the idea of Maker Express is to move and stop in cities and do workshops and teach people and even showcase the things we have. We did mostly 3D printing workshops, but not to how to 3D print, how to actually build a 3D printer. Because during that time, we had a community at Cairo Hackerspace that build their own 3D printers.
Yeah.
They are called Creatables. Sounds similar to something else, but they are outside Cairo Hackerspace and they have their own company and they have a 3D printing farm, hundreds of 3D printers, and they have a service now. Those guys, they came with us to these countries and we showed people how to build 3D printers from scratch.
So let's go back to 2015. You came to Republica to the gig meeting. Back then it was before this conference that is so central to our physical meetings so far. You were talking about how sharing mistakes and so on. Let's get back to that moment where you truly felt carried by this community.
I actually remember a moment right now. I just remember that. The amount of support we got, whether it's like emotionally or donations from the members of the network. In early 2016, the building that has Cairo Hackerspace collapsed. It did actually, all the building. Yeah, that was the building of the Townhouse Gallery. Cairo Hackerspace was hosted by the Townhouse Gallery for free in one of their artist studios.
Hopefully there was no one
injured. Yeah, there was some people in the building, so half the building collapsed all the way to the ground. So that building is like more than 200 years old. Wow. So it was built with rocks. So rocks collapse. Have the building completely collapse all the way to the ground. There's like 4 floors.
You lost everything.
We lost a lot of things, but not everything. So we were able to save a lot of things, but we did need like financial support. We needed emotional support, something to keep us up and running. Right after that, that was the gig meetup, because that happened between like January and like maybe March. And in May, that's the gig meetups. We came here, there was a lot of support. There is even people donated money to us, like members, like the members of the network.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, it was very good. And that it gave us even more energy than what we had before. We didn't want to let anyone down, and we wanted also to be influence to other people. And one thing I want to say, there is some people offered us larger amounts of donations. We did actually refuse it for a reason. During that time, there was bigger issues in other countries in the region. We can survive this, like we can work and survive this and do it. But there is other countries that are completely being destroyed. And there was like a huge refugee situation. And I didn't feel it was right to take the larger amounts of support. And I did ask people, like, I took already what is enough for us, but I don't want to take more that might be going to people who deserve it more.
Wow, that's strength, and that shows the solidarity of this network. And
yes,
maybe this is really a story of how every time when in one country of the gig community there is an emergency, a crisis going on, it's brilliant and beautiful how the group comes together, even if it's a nice word asking how you are, or donating, or helping with knowledge.
And what do you need, and then sort of like coming together and helping you with it. So you managed to rebuild the hackerspace, if I understand correctly?
Yeah, correct. We instantly moved when there was time to do that. We made up a call and many people from our community helped us. We moved to one of the members of GIG. It was Ice Cairo.
Amazing.
So Adam and Radwan, they were actually closer to us in downtown Cairo. And they instantly offered us to host us because they already had a fab lab, so that was perfect.
So again, you felt carried by this community.
It was, and
beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah, I did know them before. We were more friends when we met in the gig. Like I knew them because in Egypt, the community knew each other. But we didn't have time to talk. When I did really meet them here, we're like, oh, hey, oh, it's nice, Cairo, how's everything? And then, like, actually, we went back friends from here, like from meeting here in 2015. So they hosted us for about a year, and then it was time to move. Yeah, we found like a bigger place. But that year, yeah, that was also a gig support. We became friends through the gig.
Amazing. Well, this story was so vivid. How did you feel listening to it? I was really traveling there.
Yeah, really like oh my God, everything is just broken apart and there's all this, it's very easy for people to give up and say, oh, we tried, but, we cannot.
Especially if you don't have that support system.
Yes.
We're lucky to be part of the gig. We need to keep this up.
So here are my golden nuggets from this first story. First of all, I had no clue what was a network and how you use it.
Oh yeah, what is that?
I could really imagine this. What's this thing?
Is that Wi-Fi?
Well, is it Wi-Fi? How does it work? You talk to it? And then another one gave us even more energy than before the building collapsed. And if I would give a title to this story, it would be Gig Transforms Work Relationships into Friendships.
Correct.
It's my takeaway.
I agree with that.
Now we have to ask you this difficult question.
Who or what in your life would not be surprised by this story?
Would not be surprised by this story. I would say my mother, yeah. She have seen a lot of crazy stuff I have done. She always supported me. So she know, like, if something like this would happen, like, she wouldn't even, like... This situation was different, of course, than many other things. And before this situation happened, actually, we had many issues at Cairo Hackerspace. We were almost giving up. Like, we were tired. We were very tired. It was too much, and the environment in Egypt was not very safe for the activity we were doing.
Yes.
You can say we were sort of waiting for something to happen so we can say, oh, we stopped because of this.
Good reason
yeah,
to
that
stop.
Was a good reason to stop, yeah. But we forgot about that because of the gig, yeah.
Because
like
of this community support.
We didn't even thought about, but my mother would just...
She would not be surprised about all this solidarity and all this community coming in and jumping in like that. And why? Where does she know these type of friendships from? Like,
she supports me all the time, and I talk with her about everything. She's very interested in what I do. Even right now when I was here, she was like, hey, why you're not in the pictures? So she's like, yeah. She's the most one that is always supporting me.
Amazing.
And she have seen me in similar situations. And she saw me like, I go extremely deep in sadness, but for 30 minutes. But I take it fully, like it's like something like that, not really 30 minutes, but it's like, it just like, I let it happen, have fun being depressed. And that it goes back, it moves quickly, like it's just like it doesn't last. So.
Excellent. With the right people around, that works.
Yeah.
We have a second question for you.
Okay, is it harder?
A second moment where we would like you to transport us again as vivid as you can. Take us to a moment where it became obvious to you that innovation can be made in Egypt.
Usually people don't go that road because it doesn't sound cool, but the government did actually see that this makes a difference, which was not supported before. Like, it was not even thing that the government would think about it before.
In what year?
In maybe like the last 3 or 4 years. And even the government reached out to us to invite us to do things, and they even made fundings. Like, and I think some of these fundings were like in partnership with like the European Union and things like that. For the first time, we felt we were doing something right, and what we did influenced the government that, oh, this is actually good for the economy, this is good for the people. We didn't know how people would feel when they see a 3D printer, or like the ideas, oh, what could you do with it? They supported that. They supported us. We were afraid of our name. We thought our name, because Cairo Hackerspace, would sound scary, and we refused to change it because we wanted to teach the people the correct meaning of the word hacker. It doesn't have to do anything with what you see in the movies. That's wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so we decided to keep... We thought about changing it. We sort of tried, but we were like, no.
What names did you have in
Cairo
mind?
Makerspace. Yeah, so, but we're like, you know what? Actually, we are keeping it.
And you have such a cool logo, and you have so nice merchandising. Like, you would have had to do all of it again.
Yeah.
No.
So, no, they supported us, and they are inviting people from the Egypt Makerspace and Hackerspace community to suggest things to the government to do to make the education better, to make, like, let's say, after-school programs in libraries and things like that. They are right now supporting more towards, like, software. We're like, now started to see like software is a good thing, but we do get calls from them, when before we thought the calls would be not a nice calls. We never actually had any issues we have been doing everything open in public, free and paid workshops like to support the hackerspace. We never had any direct
political positioning or anything.
Position.
Yeah.
No, I mean clash. But I'm like, now I'm happy because they see that as a good thing. The universities know about hackerspaces and makerspaces, not particularly Cairo hackerspace, which was our goal. Our goal was makerspaces like, you don't have to come to us. Start your own in your neighborhood. The idea of maker spaces and hacker spaces, that itself is the innovation that would change the policymakers' minds about what is right and what is wrong.
So I like that you say that with the Maker Express, you went all the way down to Zimbabwe, right? And Ghana and all those places.
Not with the van.
Not with
the van, just to be clear.
Be precise, because that van was not allowed to cross
Uganda.
the border.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, it was Zimbabwe and Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the maker spaces exactly.
Amazing.
But yeah.
But you went all the way
And
there.
both of them were members of the gig, by the way.
Of course they were members of the gig,
these
and we will
spaces.
invite them here to talk. I know
both of these spaces
exactly
were members
who
of
you
the
mean.
gig, yeah.
So this second story, there are some golden nuggets here too. Surprise.
Oh, wow.
I love this story about how you told us it became obvious to you that innovation can be made and is possible also in your country, in Egypt. And it's another type of innovation. It's really changing of mindset.
Yes.
It's a cultural innovation. It's a very immaterial innovation. So you didn't tell us a story about, the stem cells or something. So it was really about, we kind of shifted this mindset on a political level and on an academic level. And if before someone would call us and tell us we're from the government, we would be like, oh my God, did we do something wrong? We must have done something wrong. We must have done something wrong.
We were very worried about that.
Scrambling around.
We didn't notice
things.
we did something wrong. And now they're calling you as partner, as helpers to support some policies, to support, the educational programs. So I think it's brilliant. And I'm wondering who or what in your life would not be surprised about this shift of perception.
I want to say my mother again also.
She's
that's my mother.
She told you 10 years ago, one day, Tarek.
But
they
will
great
come
things
and learn from your space.
My father was like always worried. Like he was sort of like actually, like I was doing this stuff. Actually, he doesn't know. Maybe until now, actually, like he doesn't know what I do, because whenever he knows, he's just like always like he becomes like suspicious and like worried, and he thinks I'm doing wrong things, and so he's the government I'm worried about. But yeah, he's that stereotype of the government. It's my father, not the real one. So I'm just saying my mother because like she's the only one that from anyone I know that I share with her always everything. Like we chat, like she doesn't work, so she's like always at home. So her
there's a lot of work to do at home.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, no, but I'm saying like some of the entertainment she does, which is watching her kids do things, because I know she doesn't get a lot of entertainment. That's by her choice, by the way, just to for the people listening, because I know a lot of the media is creating a lot of stereotypes about the region and stuff. So in Egypt, it's actually by choice. My mother, that's her choice, and that's is supported in Egypt. If a woman want to work or doesn't want to work, that's optional. She gets treated like a queen. So yeah, that I share with her and I show her, because I know that's like almost like she's meeting the people, she's getting out and she's doing the things like me. So yeah, she have a lot of courage also. Yeah, she have more courage than me.
Brilliant. Oh, yeah. Tarek, thank you.
No problem.
Wow.
Star, what do you think about this guest I brought to you?
Well,
you witnessed the whole power. I kind of feel I want to have Tarek's mom on our podcast.
You should, yeah.
She's
She would love to. I can call her right now.
An amazing, courageous woman.
Hi, Mom. These people.
That
I'm
actually,
not joking. Do you want me to call her right now?
She raised an amazing human being.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, this is a lot of fun for me, and thank you for reminding me of all of these moments, because the past couple of years have been tough on everyone, and I really needed a reminder of all the good moments.
A Moments Portal is hosted by Daniela Marzavan and Ngei. Sound and editing, Dominic, Ryniak. Technical support, Paweł and Ngei. Music by Monster Logo Studios.